Hi, Ruth.
Hey, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, good. I'm on my cell phone tonight. I couldn't get it to come up on my computer.
Oh,
I couldn't get Zoom to respond for some reason. So sometimes. Did you get the original email or did you get the one that I just forwarded for to get on the class tonight?
oh, I used the original because I copied that Zoom link a long time ago.
No, I
Is
mean
it different?
original. Oh, I meant original as in 6:30 tonight. Oh, you didn't use that one at all. You didn't
Mm-mm.
use either. Okay,
No, I used the URL that I copied way back when we started.
way back. Okay,
Yeah,
all
because
right.
I never did get the email. I only got the one you forwarded me, and that's the one I copied.
And I didn't get it tonight either.
Who's
So I
sending it?
had Peter. So I called him and told him I hadn't gotten it. So he sent one personally to me, and then I forwarded that to everybody just about 10 minutes ago.
And that's the one we're on right now.
That's the one I'm on.
Okay.
You're on from way back.
Yeah, but it's got to be the same meeting ID.
Well, yeah, it's just, oh, yeah, right. It's the same meeting ID, but the method of getting there is more what I'm referring to.
Yeah, I'm
And I
using the
used,
old.
yeah, I used the email that he sent to me personally because I never got the one that he has set up to go out at 6:30 every day. I don't know why you're not getting that because it's the email that I'm using when
That's really strange. Uh,
I
I've
don't know.
checked my spam and all that, and
Yeah,
it's
I did too tonight, and it wasn't anywhere. But he has it so it's automatically set up. Um,
right. Well,
it's supposed to go. Well, you know what? This is the first Tuesday of April. This happens every month.
oh,
But
his
the
thing
first
resets at the month.
right, and but when I said something, he said it went out and that he got it. So I guess he's sending it to himself too. He said that he got it. So I don't know why I didn't. But anyway,
Hmm.
and the other two aren't here. So I'm wondering. But I did just send out, I forwarded one and I got that one. And I didn't get any of the little mail demon notices. And you didn't get that one. And I sent it out personally to you.
Oh no, I got that one. I just didn't bother clicking on it.
Okay. You got it. So then
Yeah,
the others must have too.
yeah, I
Okay.
did.
Okay.
And I got your email
With the poly.
with the poly,
Okay.
and I have the English one as well. So I have those all ready to go. But it sounds like we might want to reschedule, or I mean, wait until next week when we have what is it?
Quorum at least. Yeah. Well,
And
let's just
Tom
wait and
and
see if Tom is he travels so much.
right,
I mean, he's in Singapore one week and in Vietnam another, and then every now and then he's in Pennsylvania,
right.
which is which is his home.
Okay.
Uh, um, yeah, we'll wait a couple more minutes because
Okay.
that 10 yuan too. Um, and you got it, so you got the one I just. Whoops, are you
Yeah, let me
there?
go look at that. I'm
And
pretty, I'm like
so if you got that,
99. Yeah, I got it.
The others should have gotten it too.
Yeah, I got it at 6:54.
Right. And that was after Peter had sent me the personal one. I mean personal, but sent it directly to me, and then I said I could forward it to everybody else. And I do not have a notice that says that, didn't come back and say,
Oh, no bouncer.
no, yeah, right. Nothing like that came. So the English version you have, who translated it?
Uh, I went to Access to Insight, translated from the Pali by Nanamali Tera.
Okay, good. That's the one I'm using, right.
And then it says alternate translation, Tanisaro.
Right, Hanasara Bhikkhu. Also has one. I used I could have said, but I didn't. I just told people they could go to either Sutra Central or Access. And on Access to Insight, Bhikkhu Bodhi has a translation too, but he doesn't put the numbers by the paragraphs.
Oh,
And it's just harder to go back and forth from the Pali to the English. In as much as we're going to do that,
the
it's
numbers
harder
help, don't
without the
they?
numbered paragraphs. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it my imagination, or are there a lot more words in the English than there are in the Pali?
It's not your imagination.
Okay.
Pali language is because it's a language that has declensions. A full sentence can be nothing but read book.
Hmm.
And in English, we would have to say, I am reading the book, I read the book, I would have other words. I mean, that's a really simple explanation. But because of the declensions, they don't have to use all the stuff.
Subjects, objects are kind of mushed
Don't
together,
don't even
basically.
don't even have to use verbs
Okay.
because of the declensions. If I say um, budang sutang, that means that both of those are objects. So it would imply that whoever is saying that, well, that one wouldn't quite work, but it would imply that I am doing something with the book and I am doing something with Buddha or two. Buddha and book are the objects. So it implies there's a subject, there's a verb, and the things that are being done to or with are Budang and Damang. Okay. And you say
Okay.
Budang Saranang Gachami. Well, they do say Gachami, but that's not even necessary um, because of that. So the declensions allow you to make sentences a whole lot shorter.
Got it.
Yeah. Um, and also, some of these long words, it's like German. Some of these long words are a combination of several words that make up a longer word. Um, Whereas we would have to say something, we would have to use 3 or 4 words or 4 or 5 words to explain what that one word
Hmm.
means in Pali. Um, and that's why when you see Bhante, you say all the time saying this word is a compound word made up of, um, and in Pali it's just one word. Um,
Yeah, it's like Dhamma, right? It's one word, but if you go look it up, it's like a paragraph of meaning.
Oh, well, that too, right, right. But then they have things like one word, Buddha Dhamma Sasana, which means the teachings of the how I don't even know how all you say that in English. Um, these are the teachings of the Buddha as taught as passed on through the Dharma. But you'd only have that one little phrase in Pali. So yeah, they do wind up with a lot fewer words because of that. But when we translate in English, we break down those compound words into separate words that often requires articles and prepositions. Right.
Right.
So,
Hi, team.
so yeah, it does. It does. It's a much more compact language. But culturally, not being used to it, sometimes it really throws you. Because you keep looking for other words to help explain what's in the sentence is trying to say. But if you really understand Pali, you don't have to feel that lack.
Right.
But I'm at a
It's
stage where, I'm just barely beginning to get hold of that. And something Bhante said in one of his classes is that if they have the grammatical endings that are the same, that means that there is an identification between the two objects, the two words. And I thought, wow, that helped a lot. If their declensional ending is the same, then there's um, yeah, there's an identity between the two words.
mm,
So that helped a bunch. Well, I think you're right. I think we tonight was just not meant to be. The email's not going through properly, and now the people aren't here either.
Well, is this class supposed to be on every
Oh,
Tuesday?
hello. Yes. Yeah.
oh, I thought Unitine was here.
You were here. Have you been here?
I just got in. I just finished working on something, and then I just run in as quick as I can. So
Okay. All right. Yes, it's every Tuesday.
yeah, that's what I thought. So that's why I marked my calendar every Tuesday around 7. So
Right. Right.
okay.
Right.
So where's
Okay.
Bonta?
Well, Bante is not going. He's in Sri Lanka.
Sri
And I'll
Lanka.
be
Okay.
teaching, yeah, and I'll be
No
teaching the
problem.
class until he gets back to Japan, and that
Okay.
will be in May.
Okay. Sounds good.
He's supposed to be back in Japan on the 7th of May, and after that, I'm hoping he'll take up the class again.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. That's right. It's good to see you. Okay, I think what I'm going to do tonight, Tim, did you get the Poly copy? I emailed it out to everyone.
Oh,
Yeah,
this.
but then there's the copy of the sutta itself that I emailed out to each of you.
Let me see here.
When did I do that? Yesterday? When did that come? Todd?
Yeah, that book
It
yeah,
came
that
at
book.
the Poly.
Yeah.
That was today at 12:12.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Gosh, that seems like a long time ago.
And the English, well, you mentioned in there at 12:10 that we can get it from the those websites,
The English, right,
ATI and Sutra Central, right?
right.
So yeah, both of those
So,
are lunch hour.
Tim, if you look at an email that came about 10 minutes after 12, it will have the Pali version of this sutta in it. You're muted if you're speaking to us.
Can you hear me now?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, can you hear me now?
yes.
Okay. Is it the Kolakama PDF file?
Yes, the
Okay.
Chula Kama Vipangana, right.
Yeah, I got that
And
one.
okay, all right, good. Because we'll be kind of using that tonight and the English one, but primarily tonight I'm going to go from the book because I think the way they laid it out in the book, the blue book, is really good. Um, there's a little bit of going back and forth that I'll do. Um, but the sutta starts off explaining that there was a young man named Subho who came to the Buddha confused as to why, or not understanding why, different people would have such different stations and situations in life, different health considerations and concerns and health levels, and some would be very poor, some wealthy, some very attractive, and some really ugly, and some just different, the different situations in life. And there was nothing in this life that necessarily explained those variations in people's plight in life. So this teaching was to explain to him what seemed like inexplicable variations in people's positions and situations in life. The little blue book, our blue book, talks about how, religions that are theistic say that it's just the will of God, or that it's, God, the creator, that has created these things, and it's not for us to question, that's just God's will, which doesn't make much sense if you're supposed to have a benevolent God. But anyway, and then
You're not
others
supposed to
believe
ask that
that
question, Ruth.
huh? Oh, right, exactly.
Don't look over there.
Blasphemy. Blasphemy, lightning will strike. And then there are those that are non-theistic. Well, there are some that are non-theistic that would say it was purely by chance. But Buddha gave explanations, and the explanations were a person's karma. And these karmic forces can come from this life or previous lives, and innumerable previous lives.
I have a
So
question.
the first paragraph, well, I should say the on page 18 of our blue book, he goes through the questions that Subha asked. And he asked, and I'm just going to go through that paragraph. It's right after it says, a young truth seeker of the Buddha's day named Subha, a victim of this perplexity, approached the Buddha and asked this question. What is the reason, what is the cause, O Lord, that we find amongst mankind the short-lived, and that's apayuka, the long-lived, digayukpa, the diseased, the bhavabadha, and the healthy, apabadha, the ugly, dubana, and the beautiful, vanyavanta, the powerless, apisaka, the powerful, mahesaka, the poor, abhabhoga, the rich, mahabhoga, the low-born, nicha kulina, and the high-born, ucha kulina, the ignorant, dupana, and the wise, panyavanta. So what I want to do is in the actual Pali version of this, these questions, well, let me see, maybe I won't do that. That'll get too complicated. But we'll just stick with the book. Bhante Dewananda would always give us vocabulary words to learn. So I would suggest, in his absence, that these words that are in parentheses in this paragraph would be important words to learn. And what I'm going to do is some of them, I'm going to go through each one and explain a little bit, about about what they are. Okay. So the short-lived apayuka, apa is APPA, is a prefix that means small or little. And yuka is life in the sense of that which is born, that which comes to be, that which originates. And then the long-lived Diga Yuka, if you know the Nikayas, the Diga Nikaya are the long discourses. So Digha means long. And then Yuka there again means a lifespan. That which is that life that has come into being, okay? What I will do is give you another set of words that pair up with these. So we have upayuka, which is short-lived. Now, why karmically speaking, does a person have a short life? And that is because of killing and destroying life, either this in a previous life, in this case. Okay, so the short-lived apayuka comes from killing and destroying life. And that word, I'm going to give you the words of the action also that cause these results, okay? So each of these will have a pair. So apayuka, the Pali for the destroying of life. All right, are we ready? You're going to be wanting to write these down because they're not anywhere. Well, they're on the Pali version. Yeah, okay, go to the Pali version. And the one that's in the little number 5 in the brackets, number 5, find that one. You see the little bracketed numbers?
Yeah. 5.
10.
Got it.
There are bracketed numbers going through this, and go down until you see number 5, 10.
Yep, got it.
Okay. So this says Idha Manawa, not Manawa is just means student or young man. Okay. In some cases, there are people that are, and here's the word, that P-A-N-A-T-I-P-A-T-I. You see that? That means the destroyer of life. Pan is life, which is interesting because when you have panism from the Latin and Greek, but Pan means life, and that Atipati is a destroyer, one who destroys. So Panatipati is the destroyer of life. That is the cause of the apayuka, the short lifespan. All right?
Mhm.
So the next one, digayuka, long life. If you go to number 6, the bracketed number 6 in the Pali, let me know when you find it.
Got it.
Both of you? Okay. Go down to the little third line and it says the same thing. Panita patang, and then has pahaya. That pahaya means the abandonment of. So the panatipatang is killing of life, and pahaya is abandonment of. So this is the abandonment of the killing of life, the destroying of life. Here's one of those examples, Todd, that panatipatang pahaya is the abandonment or the destroying of all life.
Right.
Look how short it is in Pali and how long it would be in English. But anyway, so that's the cause for digayuka, the long life. So we're doing cause and effect, cause and effect, cause and effect is what I'm giving you here, okay? Okay, now if you go to number 7 in the Pali.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now in this paragraph we're looking at in the book, the next thing is the diseased, a person who is sickly in the book. All right. And it says Bahwabada, which means sickly. And in number 7 in the Pali, we have that Vihetaka Jatiko, which is a person who habitually is oppressive. Jatiko means habit, and Vihetaka is oppression or harm. Harming. Showing violence against, and that Jatiko is its habit. So a person who habitually is oppressive to another, the result is this bhava badha, being sickly in their present life, or the diseased, as this says. All right?
Okay.
Cause and effect, one by one. All right? The next one, healthy, apabadha. What is the cause of having a healthy life? All right, go to number 8 in the Pali. And on the third line, you see vihetaka zatika, and is a negative prefix. So it means one who does not have the habit of oppressing. Non-harming. Okay, and there again, being a person who habitually is kind, who habitually does no harm to others, the result is a healthy life. Abhabandha. All right, cause and effect. All right, and the next one, a person who is ugly. Number 9 in the Pali Sutta. Have we got it?
Yep.
Okay, the third line, Kodhana. The word hoti that's following these, that means they have that or they are that. Okay, that's what hoti means. So the actual adjective is kodhano. And that means anger, angry. Technically, it means anger because they have anger. Kodhano is anger or yeah. And it also means an uncontrolled mind, a person who goes into rage a lot would be Kodhano, easily angered. And that is the cause. And the effect is ugly, dubhana, or dubana. I guess it'd be how you'd say it, dubana. Dubbanna, cause and effect. Okay. The next one from the book is the beautiful, Vanavanta. Into that one we go to 10. I want to tell you a little bit about this word Vanavanta. Vana, V-A-N-N-A, means color, literally. And Vanta means unblemished, stainless, pure.
Pure.
Interestingly enough, it also means to vomit. Which I guess the idea is that you're getting rid of the negative.
Interesting.
are very interesting. But anyway, in this case, we will just stick with stainless, maybe. Unblemished. So it's unblemished color, vana. Vana is used like complexion, a facial complexion. So vanavanta means beautiful. And what creates the beauty in a person is, okay, we had kodano means anger, right? And the A there again is the negative prefix, and it has to take in another K just because that's how Pali works. So akodana means no anger, angerless. And that is the cause of beauty. If you were angerless in your previous life, if you were without anger, if you held no hostility, then you would be very beautiful in this life. Okay?
Yeah.
Cause and effect. The next one in the book here in this paragraph is powerless, which is apisaka. And there again, we have this APP, well, it's APPE in this case, just that's because of phonetics. If we looked up at the very first one, short-lived, in the paragraph in the book, we have the APPA, yuka. Here we have APPA, for healthy was APPA badha, which was very little sickness. Here we have APPE saka. Saka is power. So we have little power. So that APP with either an E or an A, depending on the letter and the situation that follows it, means little, not much. So here in three in a row, not in a row, but three right here in this paragraph use that same prefix that means little to none. So that's powerless, apisaka. And if we go to 11 in the Pali Sutta, what creates powerlessness is jealousy, which is isa manako hoti. You see it on number 11, third line. The word issa, I-S-S-A, is actually the word for jealousy. Manako is a person who has a mind of isa, jealousy. Okay, so that's the whole, but that's what they say. Isa, this is a case where the Pali is longer. Isa manako, a person of jealousy. And a person who is, or envious, covetous, all those kinds of words. And that person is rendered powerless or having little power, very little influence in their lives. Okay, apisaka. So jealousy leads to a loss of power or influence in your present life. The next one, powerful, mahesaka. We know the term maha, right? We use that all the time in chanting. Okay. So this is there again, mahe is just, it's an E instead of an A because of what follows it, but it's the same word. And it means great. Great influence, powerful. Right? And of course, the quality that allows for that influential characteristic is the lack of jealousy or envy. And that there again under 12, it's the third line down. We have the an in this case as the negative prefix. Isa manako, same word, isa manako with an in front of it. The lack of jealousy. Okay. And then the next one, rich. Maha again. Like Mahabodhi, Maha.
Tattva.
Yeah, Maha. There's so many ways to, yeah. Mahasatipatthana Sutta, which we just studied. Okay, so Maha and Bogha. Bogha means wealth, but it also means enjoyment, a sense of well-being, lack of worry. But here they're using it as wealth, Mahabhoga. And that which allows you wealth in life, of course, is, or the lack of wealth. Wait a minute. I'm sorry, I skipped Apabhoga. I skipped that one. So back up, I'm sorry. We're on poor, not wealth, not rich yet. So here's the Apa again. You're going to know that one, huh? Apabhoga means little wealth. Okay, little enjoyment, little sense of comfort and security, and all those things that go with having enough money. Apabhoga. And what causes that is, look at little paragraph 13 of the Pali Canon in the Pali Sutta. Na datta. Na is a negation, and datta means giving. One who gives. So that's another way of saying generosity or stinginess, not giving. So not giving is a cause for being poor in this life. All right. Now we'll go to rich, which is Mahabhoga. And number 14 in the Pali Sutra, which is Datta Hoti, giving. So being one who gives. And these things underneath it, the list of 4 things underneath giving, we see that Anam, Panam, Vatham, and Yanam. All right. See those? Those 4 things. Anam is food. And the at the end of it is because they're the object. You give that thing. So ana would be the noun, just pure and simple. But that's food. Panang is drink. Vathang is, it can be clothing. It can be fabric. Because in the Buddha's time, frequently the devotees would give the monks cloth for their robes and stuff. So it can be a robe, it can be cloth, but that's what that is. And then Vanam is like a carriage or a cart. The Yanam. So that's what those 4 things are. And that's what they're talking about giving, the spirit of giving. And Mala is a garland. Ganda would be fragrances. So, there's just all those kinds of things that you would give someone. But those first 4 are things that are really pretty specific for giving to, or the first 3 anyway, giving to monks. Food, water, and clothing. So that would give you wealth. Mahabhoga. All right. And the next one in the book is being low-born. Okay, this is a very interesting, this Pali word, Nicha Kulina. Kulina means being born into a given caste. That is specifically what that means. Your caste designation by birth, of course, in Pali's, in Buddha's time. So Nicha means low.
I was wondering about that, if this was pre-caste system or
Right in the middle of it. And
okay.
that was one of the reasons that Buddha kind of stayed away from the powers that be, because he was really bucking the system. Because they were a very strong caste society. And of course, in his Sangha, he did not recognize caste at all.
Right.
But when they were talking about people being born in a caste within society itself, the people that were born in a low caste, that were so harshly discriminated against and suffered so greatly, why would that have been? So the reasoning was that in a previous life, this is number 15, the third line, that tadho, and right below that, the atipani. I'm going to give you both of these because I think they're important words. Tadho means callous or haughty. And atimani means proud. And the result of that lifestyle is the birth into being low-born. And the high-born, ucha kulina. Nicha means below and ucha means above sometimes. So here it's meaning low and high. So ucha kulina is high-born, born in a higher class. And if you look at 16, you see again the third line down, the third and fourth in this case, the a tadho and an ati mani. Those are the negative prefixes, the a and the an. So that means not haughty or not proud. And that is the causal factor, the karmic cause of the being born in, being higher born, or in his society, you would have been born in a more comfortable caste. And the last one, well, the last pair, ignorance. And they're not using avijja here, which I think is interesting. They're using dupana. Panya is wisdom. The last part of that, P-A-N-N-A, with the little marks over the ends. Panya is wisdom. So, and du is another negative, like dukkha is suffering, right? Du is a negative impacting part of a word. Like dukkha is suffering and sukha is happiness, right? So dupanya is ignorance or stupidity or foolishness. or lack of wisdom, anyway. All those words. And what brings you to that is go to the top of 17, the paragraph 17. Here it'll be the fourth line down. And that na paripuchita, do you see that? Na paripuchita. That means one who's not inquiring, not inquisitive, not asking questions of the monks. This samanang wa ramanang wa upasakamita wa, those are not asking questions of monks or Brahmins when you are in their presence. That's what all that means, not asking questions when you are in the presence of monks or Brahmins. Okay. The result of that lack of inquiry is stupidity, foolishness, ignorance. They're really not calling it ignorance here. They're calling it stupidity and foolishness. A lack of wisdom. And that's probably why they're not calling it a vija, because this is really not that kind of ignorance. Although they're calling it ignorant in this book. But avijja is actually ignorance. Okay? And then the very last one, panyavanta. Panya is wisdom again. And here we have that vanta again, that stainlessness that they used up here with the complexion for beautiful. That same vanta, which is stainlessness. So this is stainless wisdom, pure wisdom, unblemished wisdom. And the cause of unblemished wisdom, can you guess? Go to 18, the third and fourth lines. When you're in the presence of monks, samanan and brahmanan, that you paripuchita hoti. You are one who inquires, who is inquisitive, who asks questions. And doing that, in your next life, you are reborn with wisdom. To whatever degree you ask questions. And all these have degrees of severity, of course. It's not black and white. It's not like you're either stupid or wise. There are a lot of stages in between. Ugly or beautiful, there are a lot of stages in between. But these are the causal factors for each of these. And that's what I wanted to bring that up, because it doesn't really express it in the book. You had to go to the sutta to find it. And in the book, interestingly enough, in the Pali Sutta, interestingly enough, when you go to 18 again, and you saw the Paripuchita, go all the way down to, how can I get you to be able to find this? Okay, you follow down and you see this Kim. Then you see Sotena. Then you jump down a few more lines and see that Noche.
Yep.
And then 1, 2, 3, you see Yata.
Yes.
And then underneath that, you see Pacha Jayati Mahapanyohoti. Pachayati is the cause of birth. And then here for this wisdom, instead of using Panyavanta like the book did, they're using Mahapanyo, great wisdom. So even the Pali is fluctuating here. The book has one Pali word, and then the sutta itself has another Pali word. Same meaning, but Mahapanya, meaning Maha, of course, is great, and Panyo is the wisdom. And here they have the stainless version of it. So anyway, I just thought I'd point that out. So even when we're looking at the Pali themselves, they'll have different transcriptions of the words.
Mm. What is Kim, 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 Kim?
That's what.
Okay.
What.
So sounds like some children I know.
And these are the questions that are asked, because this is the thing about asking questions, right?
Yeah.
So what is good? What is wisdom? What is, all the different what is. These are the things that you ask if you're, what do I do to be reborn into a good life? What kind of character do I need to, all kinds of questions. Let me see, that's 18. I'll go to the English here for a second. Okay, it says, what is wholesome? By doing what will I have welfare and happiness? By having performed and completed such karmas on dissolution after body when appears in a happy destination, what will I do if, it's just those kinds of questions that you would ask a monk. That's what. Yeah, like a kid. So, okay. We have a very few more minutes, but that first paragraph, though, is really the just about the whole sutta. Go to the page 19 of the book here. And these are the aspects of karma. And in the sutta, that is paragraph 4. And of the sutta itself. If you found that. So this is just to show you where it's coming from, okay? So Kamasaka is the first one. And then the Kama Dayada is the second one. The third one is that Kama Yoni, and then Kama Bandhu, and then Kama Patisaran. Okay, but anyway, okay, we'll back up. I'll take these, but this is just to show you where they are. So if you want to make note of where this list of 6 things is, they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on page 19. Those came from that little paragraph 4 in the sutta. Just FYI.
Thank you.
So what they're doing is saying, okay, what about karma? What are the aspects of karma? And the first one, that karma sakka, is your karma is yours. No one else can do anything about your karma. Your karma is yours. You create your karma through your relationship to reality, and we see reality by way of the aggregates. We experience reality by way of the aggregates. So that's basically, and that's our sensory perception, our sensory input. And that's 100% ours. No one can influence that. Okay, so that's that kamasaka. Okay, it says the ownership is established by relating karma to one of the aggregates, mainly the disposition of sankhara. And the sankhara is the one that's mental formations, but all of the aggregates make up our mental formations. So I would go beyond what this says and just include all of the aggregates. We can't have a mental formation without having our other senses. I mean, how would we, right? If we can't see, smell, taste, touch, if we lack all of that, how can we have a mental formation, right? So anyway, that's karmasaka. The next one, kamadayada, is the literally it means inheritance. Dayada is our inheritance, and that means things that come to us through our family, that kind of inheritance. The next one is kama yoni. Yoni is an experience that is a expression that talks about the origination of our life. It's sometimes referred to as the womb. One of the translations of the word yoni is womb, W-O-M-B. So it's a very, it's the yeah. On a more abstract level, it goes to the, as it says here, the nature of personality, the source from which the nature of personality springs. So it's very elusive in that sense. Okay? In this sense, it's very elusive, but yoni itself, one of the translations is womb, so it gives you an idea of what it's going to. All right. And kama bandhu, this is, I think, very interesting. It means our karma is our kin.
I'm in trouble.
But what that word bandhu means, now this is what I think is fascinating. Bandhu means a binding, an imprisonment, an attachment, a bondage.
Mm.
And I think the reason that they're saying ken here is because we cannot in any way escape our blood connections. I mean, they're there. They are blood connections. So kama bandhu is that inescapable force. And there's nothing we can do about our blood relations. So I think that's how the translation kind of morphed into what it did. But I thought that was a really interesting, because when I first saw this, I thought, because I remembered the word bandhu, and I learned it a while back because of the bandana, and you tie a bandana, anyway, that was just my association for memorizing the word. But then I saw kama bandhu, and I thought, yeah. And then I saw the translation was relatives and kinfolk. Oh wow! It's kind of weird. Anyway, number 5, moving on. But I think it helps sometimes to understand what these words, not just how they're used in that specific case, but also other meanings of the same word. Kind of gives a deeper insight into to what's really being said. Why they're using that word bandhu, because there are other words for kin, for family, and they didn't use that. But bandhu is also means relatives and kin, Kin. So, but it also means bondage and imprisonment. Okay, number 5, enough of that. Kamapati sarana means the karma. Okay, sarana we know, right? Budang saranang, Dhammang saranang, Sanghang saranang. Taking refuge in. Sarana is refuge. Pati sarana is also refuge. It's just a little more expressive way of saying it, I guess. Pati sarana also means shelter and protection, whereas sarana by itself is really just refuge in the spiritual sense. But pati sarana is shelter, protection from. So our karma can be, if we keep our karma akusala wholesome, it can be a protection. It will protect us. That's our self-protection, because we're creating our karma. Good creates good. Good brings on good. If we go around being bad, bad things are going to come. The laws of attraction and that kind of stuff, if we go out in that direction. But we perform good deeds, then the results are going to be positive, right? That's just cause and effect again. If we do a continuation of purely good deeds, then, as he says here, it leads us to enlightenment and liberation. And there again, depending on the levels, it's not black and white. There are all kinds of grades of degrees in there. Okay, so karma as refuge, karma as shelter and protection. And remember, karma is always self-created, either in a past life or now. But it's there. It's not random. It's not bestowed upon something external. Through all of our lives, then it has been accumulating. So the last one, which they have here, is number 1 again, but it's actually number 6. Kamansati bivajati yadidang hina panitaya. What that means is all karma is classified either as high or low. So our karma is what pulls our life and our future into states that are good or not. Okay, it differentiates beings into high or low states. And the name of this sutta, that vibhanga, here we have the third word in this italics, vibhajati, that's the verb for vibhanga, which means to classify. So sati is all. So all karma is classified yadidang in accordance to. Hina is low and panita is high. Okay. This is the most important, I'm just reading now. This is the most important and crucial of the relationships, providing straightforward answers to the query, asserting that it is karma that determines the individual character of the person, differentiating them into high or low states, happy or miserable, strong or weak, or whatever. Okay?
Okay.
All right. And then this last part, 1 through 8 through 14, is what we did initially when I did the cause and effect thing from that first paragraph here. So that's, we've already done. All right. So one more thing I want to throw out here, and these questions at the end. I think number 5 on page 21, is karma the only factor that produces an effect? If not, what are the other factors? You want me to tell you? Or do you want to figure it out on your own? It tells you the niyamas. I mean, you can Google it, but if you don't want me to tell you and you want to investigate it on your own, make sure when you look up niyamas that you say the Buddhist niyamas, because yoga uses niyamas and they're very different. You want me to go through them real quick? They're 5.
Yeah,
Or is
let's
that
hear them.
enough?
Yeah.
You do?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. The first one, Utta, U-T-T-A, Utta Niyama, which are the inorganic forces in nature, like the environment, weather, that kind of stuff. These are there are 5 things that influence us in life, and only one of them is karma. So karma only has about 20% impact on our lives, which a lot of people don't understand. They think that life is like basically all karma, but it's only 1/5 of what contributes to what's going on in our lives.
So Uta is environment? Is that?
UTTA is the inorganic influences in our lives. Yeah.
Okay.
The environment, weather, hurricanes, volcanoes, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Now, these things are not absolutely separate from one another, but these are like the driving forces. And that's not to say that a volcano smashing your house and burning you to a crisp may not have some karmic impact, but it doesn't necessarily. And the message here is that we do not know. So don't judge and don't try to make your own determination on things, okay? So the first one, Uta, inorganic nature. The next one is Bija, B-I-J-A, which literally means seed. And that's the organic side of life, like biology, DNA, genetics, heredity, that kind of stuff. B-I-J-A, Bija, Bija Niyama. The next one is Karma Niyama, karma, our moral causation. And remember that karma is always has a moral, intentional motivation to it, right? If you kill someone by accident, if you hit someone with your car and they die, there's no karma there. I mean, there was no intention whatsoever. And they ran out in front of your car, you couldn't stop, the pavement was wet. Yeah, that's uh-uh. The karma might come from your reaction to it, but the fact itself did not create the karma. All right. Which brings us to the next one, Chitta Niyama. which is our
Mind.
reaction to things. If we fuss at that person for running out in front of us, even though we've just killed them, we've created some karma. But it wasn't the actual, hitting the person and having them die that created the karma. The chitta, the psychological, the
Okay.
mental state that we perceive things through. That's chitta niyama. Okay, and the last one is dhamma niyama, which are the laws of nature, cause and effect. The three characteristics of nature: impermanence, suffering, and non-self. How we relate to those have an impact on our lives. So that's the natural law and its impact on us. Okay, so those are
Thank
the
you.
five: Utta,
Thank you.
Vijja, Kama, Chitta, and Dhamma. Those are the five things that impact our lives, and only one of them is karma. So those are the five niyamas. Okay?
Thank you.
All righty. Whew, we did it. We made it through that chapter. All right. If you have any questions, next time we'll do Vipassana, but if you have any questions, let me know. I'm trying to push ahead because, we need to kind of move along. But look at the questions at the end, and I think they're pretty self-explanatory as far as they were pretty well addressed in this chapter. Number 3 is a new idea, but we talked about it a little, and that's the chitana, which is volition, is karma. Like saying, hitting, if you have an accident and you hit a pedestrian with your car and they die, then that's, unless you deliberately ran into them, that did not have intention in it, so that it would not have a strong karmic impulse, result. All right. Okay, then that's it. Would like to share merit?
Thank you, Ruth.
Yeah, who would like to share merit?
I have a short reflection, if that's okay.
Oh, yeah, that would be beautiful.
Great. In this world of arising and passing, where nothing can be held, may all beings release their grasping. With nothing to cling to and nothing to resist, may the heart rest in ease. And in that ease, may all beings be free. Sadhu, sadhu,
Sadhu, sadhu.
sadhu.
That's beautiful. Would you mind sharing that?
Oh, not at all. I'd be happy to.
Do you have the list of email addresses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Onegaishimasu, if you would, please. That would be lovely. I
Absolutely.
like that. Okay. All right.
Right. We will
Okay.
see you next week.
See you next week.
Thank
And we'll
you.
hang in there together until Bante gets back.
You're doing wonderful. It's
Keep
just, you're doing a
persevering.
fantastic job, Ruth.
Well, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
See
Carrying
you.
on for him. Okay. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Recording in